Welcome to Mukesh Manoharan Studio. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon before we proceed. Imagine, for a moment, the vast interconnected web of our global food system. At the very center of it all sits one single ingredient that bridges continents, cultures, and cuisines. Today, we're embarking on a deep, objective exploration into one of the most widely consumed foods on the entire planet, chicken. Whether it's a staple on your dinner table every single evening or something you've chosen to completely leave off your plate, this journey is designed to cut right through the noise. We're going to illuminate the strict facts, uncover the deep nutritional truths, and explore the vibrant alternatives. By the time we're done, you'll have a beautifully clear picture, empowering you to make dietary choices that truly align with your own personal health, goals, and values.
To guide us through this landscape, our journey today follows a clear 5-part path. 1. The chicken on your plate. 2. The benefits of poultry. 3. The hidden health risks. 4. Transitioning to plant-based. And finally, 5. Finding your dietary balance.
Let's step right into Section 1, the chicken on your plate, selecting and cooking.
Picture the bustling aisles of your local market. Eating isn't just about survival. It's a deeply biological interaction, and the basic choices we make here fundamentally rewrite the nutritional story of our meals. Notice the fascinating contrast between two of the most common cuts. On one side, we have the chicken breast. This is the ultimate tool for athletes and fitness enthusiasts. Why? Because it boasts the highest concentration of protein with the absolute lowest fat, acting as a direct catalyst for muscle growth and physical recovery. But contrast that sheer utility with the chicken thigh. Thighs offer a completely different experience. They are notably richer, much more flavorful, and that flavor is carried by a higher fat content. That fat isn't just for taste. It provides dense, additional calories and sustained energy for the body. It perfectly illustrates how different elements of the very same food serve entirely different physical needs.
But selecting the cut is only the first chapter of this story. Think about the alchemy of cooking. You can take the absolute healthiest cut of meat and completely transform its biological impact simply by how you apply heat. When we look at healthy methods like grilling over an open flame, boiling, or the gentle envelopment of steaming, these techniques beautifully retain that vital protein without adding heavy, unnecessary calories to your plate. Baking and air frying are fantastic modern alternatives. They give you that incredible texture we all crave while using significantly less oil. On the flip side of that coin, we find the unhealthy preparations. The heavy descent into the deep fryer, the highly processed nuggets, or those heavily salted sausages. These methods invite excessive sodium and harmful fats into our bodies. Over time, a heavy reliance on those processed preparations can quietly alter our health, leading to weight gain, climbing blood pressure, and elevated cholesterol. As we dive deeper into the science of what sustains us, if you're finding value in this exploration, please remember to subscribe, like, and share the channel to help us continue bringing these cinematic stories to light.
Moving forward, we arrive at Section 2, the benefits of poultry, why we eat it.
Within every single bite lies a complex, microscopic architecture. The most crucial point of our biological understanding is this. Chicken is what scientists call a complete protein. In the grand machinery of the human body, this means it naturally delivers every single one of the essential amino acids that your body simply cannot manufacture on its own. Imagine these amino acids as the fundamental building blocks of life, urgently required for repairing torn muscle tissue, generating growth, and even synthesizing the hormones and enzymes that dictate our daily moods and functions. And beyond just the mechanics of building muscle, this high-quality protein performs a neat psychological trick. It significantly increases your satiety. Simply put, you feel deeply satisfied and fuller for a much longer period compared to eating a fleeting, high-carbohydrate meal. This naturally quiets the urge to snack, making the journey of weight management feel much more effortless.
But the story doesn't end with protein. Beneath the surface, there's a hidden symphony of micronutrients working tirelessly to keep you alive. Chicken is packed with vitamin B3, also known as niacin, which acts as a spark plug for your nervous system and energy production. It brings phosphorus to fortify the deep strength of your bones and teeth, and selenium, which stands guard as a powerful cellular antioxidant. But look closely at vitamin B6 right there in the middle. B6 is a cornerstone of brain development and the rapid production of immune cells. This specific nutrient profile, this warm embrace of vitamins, is exactly why a steaming, aromatic bowl of chicken soup feels so incredibly restorative and is universally recommended when we're huddled at home fighting off a cold.
Now, we must turn the page to Section 3, the hidden health risks, the downsides.
In any journey through the culinary world,
There are shadows we must acknowledge. This is a critical, uncompromising warning. When it comes to the kitchen, food safety is absolutely non-negotiable. Lurking unseen in raw or undercooked meat is a severe, almost microscopic threat. The risk of aggressive food poisoning from bacteria like salmonellosis and campylobacteriosis. If the meat isn't respected, if it isn't brought up to the precise internal temperature required to neutralize these threats, you are inviting in an intensely painful experience. We're talking about soaring fevers, relentless vomiting, and severe, gripping stomach pain. Proper cooking isn't just a matter of achieving the right texture or taste, it is a fundamental barrier of protection for your health.
And beyond the immediate walls of our kitchens, there are vast macro-level concerns that echo across our environment and long-term health. Relying heavily on fatty cuts or deep-fried indulgences over years can slowly line our systems with excessive saturated fats, casting a shadow over our cardiovascular health. We also have to navigate the modern landscape of preservatives and artificial additives that are heavily pumped into processed products. Looking even wider, there are deeply valid concerns echoing from the agricultural world regarding the use of antibiotics in mass farming systems. It's exactly why experts passionately encourage us to source our food carefully from reputable, mindful suppliers. And finally, we must look at the earth itself. While poultry generally leaves a lighter footprint compared to grazing livestock like cattle, large-scale commercial farming still exacts a heavy toll on our planet through immense water consumption, massive waste generation, and invisible greenhouse gas emissions. Before we step into the alternatives of this complex global web, just a quick reminder to subscribe, like, and share the channel so we can continue diving into these deeply important topics together.
This brings us to a new path. Section 4. Transitioning to plant-based. How to avoid chicken. For many, a moment comes when they decide to step away from this globally dominant food source, whether for ethical beliefs, environmental stewardship, or personal health. But altering the very foundation of your diet requires a map. Shocking your system by changing everything overnight rarely lasts. So here are 5 deliberate, actionable steps for a lasting transformation. First, you must deeply understand your core reason. Knowing your emotional why acts as an anchor when habits try to pull you back. Second, you must intentionally replace the missing protein. Third, flood your body with fiber-rich, plant-based foods, vibrant fruits, leafy vegetables, and hearty whole grains. Fourth, embrace the grace of gradual reduction. And fifth, step into the joy of learning new recipes, exploring untapped flavors, so you never feel the hollow ache of missing out.
Let's look closer at the sheer brilliance of Step 4. The psychology of human habit tells us that going cold turkey can be a jarring, often unsuccessful shock to our daily rhythms. But what if we stretch that change over time? This specific gradual reduction method is wonderfully manageable. It starts gently. In week 1, you allow yourself the familiar comfort of chicken 4 times. By week 2, you quietly drop it to 3, then twice, then just once in week 4. By the time the sun rises on week 5, the old habit has faded into a whisper and you naturally stop completely. It doesn't just change your diet, it carefully retrains your palate and your cooking instincts, week by week. But we have to remember the vital rule of Step 2. The grand architecture of your body still demands building blocks. When you remove a powerful, complete protein from the center of your plate, intentional planning transitions from a good idea to an absolute biological necessity. You are now stepping into a vibrant, earth-grown market. You need to heavily lean on alternatives forged in the soil, golden lentils, dense and hearty chickpeas, the remarkable versatility of soybeans and tofu, rich paneer, all tied together with generous, healthy handfuls of crunchy nuts and seeds.
Ultimately, this transition represents a delicate scale of balance. Objectively speaking, walking this path holds magnificent advantages. A plant-based diet naturally weaves much higher levels of fiber into your digestive system, cultivating a flourishing, healthy gut microbiome. It strips away heavy saturated fats and lets you walk with a much lighter footprint on the earth. For many, it perfectly aligns their plate with their ethical compass. But we must be completely honest about the other side of the scale. The disadvantages are very real if you travel blindly. Without the dense concentration of a complete meat protein, your meals require diligent, thoughtful mapping. If you neglect this planning, you leave yourself exposed to the silent, creeping risks of severe deficiencies in vitamin B12, iron, and zinc, the very sparks of your energy. As we approach the culmination of our dietary exploration, if you felt inspired by this journey, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share the channel.
We've reached our final destination. Section 5, Finding Your Dietary Balance, Final Perspective.
As the dust settles on all the facts, the science, and the alternatives, I want to share this profound, unifying takeaway directly from our source material.
It reads, "The key principle is not simply whether you eat chicken or avoid it, but whether your overall diet is balanced, nutritious, and sustainable over the long term." This realization is incredibly powerful. The truth is, chicken can be a remarkably nourishing force when prepared with respect and eaten in moderation. At the exact same time, walking a path without it can be a tremendously vibrant, healthy way to live, provided you honor your body's complex needs through careful, plant-based planning. In the end, the quiet, daily practices of moderation, thoughtful preparation, and mindful planning matter infinitely more than whatever restrictive dietary label we might attach to ourselves.
So, as we bring this cinematic journey to a close, I want to leave a lingering thought in the air for you to reflect upon today. Take a quiet, honest look at the everyday rhythms of your eating habits. Ask yourself, is your overall diet truly balanced, and is it genuinely sustainable for the long term? When you sit down for your meal tonight, look at your plate and wonder what small, beautiful adjustments you might make to fuel your body in the most harmonious way possible. Thank you so much for staying with me all the way to the end of this journey, and always keep asking beautiful questions about the world around you. Take care.